Hey Mustangs, happy October. This is the Stampede's monthly podcast. I'm Amin Bajwa.
And I'm Mariah Costa. And this month, our special guest with us is Yusuf Sroor, just to talk about the issues that went on this month.
We're going to talk about current events, our entertainment picks of the month, and just having a conversation with some Mustangs about things that matter to us.
Yeah. So the first thing that we want to talk about is the Emmys. The Primetime Emmy Awards happened this year, of course. But this year, what made it so special and different is the diversity that was actually there. We saw people of different color getting recognized.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so exciting.
Yes. I'm sure you guys all remember the hashtag Oscars so white. Mm-hmm. This is definitely not what happened at the Emmys this year. There was a lot of diversity. Women, different people from sexual orientations, people from different backgrounds, race, ethnicity. They were all represented very well, surprisingly well almost, for Hollywood and for the major industries. And I think it's a testament to how these entertainment industries are changing and how they're going down a path that reflects contemporary society accurately and with,
Yeah, the interesting thing, we wrote an article about this this month, and it's really awesome getting to ask some of the student body questions about entertainment, because how it matters to us. It's what we see. It's our representation of society, not just for us, but for other countries to see, what is America like? What is going on here? And so getting their opinions on the matter was really interesting, and also the groups that they felt weren't represented enough yet. A lot of common answers. A lot of people said that Asian groups aren't represented in the media enough, and it was yeah, you know what, you're right. There's, even though we had this growth, there's still things to work on, and I think that's what we kind of saw and realized, and it's a really good improvement.
And when we were interviewing students, a lot of them said, well, sure, there's those token characters, but that's not the representation that we need in the media or in entertainment. We don't want to perpetuate stereotypes when we represent groups. So while we're growing in diversity, I think there's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah, and the responsibility that shows have to portray society accurately, or the question of do they, That's interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with shows like Master of None showing Aziz Ansari, an Indian man, and his working through life, and shows like Atlanta, which gives depth to African American characters, and they're not just rappers or drug dealers, but here they're represented as characters with depth, going through relationships, what they're doing in the house, and
yeah, it's important. And speaking of entertainment issues, well, not issues but topics, we can't help but mention the Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment charges that has blown up Hollywood. The casting couch has always been a thing that we've known about, but now it's really highlighted in a very important way that kind of shows us, even who aren't in Hollywood, that sexual harassment needs to be put on the front, and it's an issue that needs to be stopped. This month we have Yusuf as the Femme Club representative, and he's here to talk about the issue.
Yeah, so with domestic abuse, it's something that it's really prominent now, especially after Weinstein. More people are coming out and saying, I was sexually harassed. For example, what happened with Kevin Spacey and the 14-year-old boy. And what we should definitely take away is that, if you see something in regards to domestic abuse, you need to say something. Like Miss M said, that what's more valuable, keeping your friends' trust or the long-term safety. So even if someone tells you, oh no, it's fine, we're just going through some things, you should still go out and tell someone who you can trust. It doesn't have to be a parent. It can be a teacher that you trust, someone on campus, anyone who can do something and change the situation. You should definitely go that route.
And with this month, or October, was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and that's just it. You need to raise awareness that we're not going to stand for this kind of behavior, this kind of abuse in any form, whether it be verbal, behavioral, emotional, whatever it is. And it's not just something that occurs with Harvey Weinstein or in the entertainment industry. It could be happening everywhere. It could be happening at school. It could be happening at home. And so taking a stand against this kind of pattern of behavior is something that's being spotlighted right now, and for obvious reasons, that we are no longer going to be complicit in accepting this or pushing it to the side, that this is something we need to deal with every day and with various kinds of people in various environments.
Yeah, that's a very important point, that it happens everywhere. Because it's not something that we just see, on the news. It's something that we see day to day, even at school, other places, whether it's your extracurriculars or whatever you're doing at your job. And it's so important to say something, because it's not just helping your situation, even though you need to do that. Like, do what's best for you. Make a stand on it. But it's helping everyone else who's dealing with these issues, and it's going unrecognized, because as you notice with the Weinstein issue, once one person comes up and says something, it gives other people the confidence maybe, or the help that they need to come out about their situation. So making awareness more public, it's just speaking out and doing your part as well to help everyone's situation, not just women, but men as well.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Men have as much responsibility to end domestic violence and sexual harassment as women do. I mean, this is not just a women's issue. And, I mean, the more power we can get behind this, the quicker it can end. So it doesn't matter if you think that, women dress a certain way and women can deserve this kind of
and
stuff.
that does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Like, it's a problem that can affect anyone, and men and women really need to get behind this together.
A united effort. Also, speaking of something that tragically happened this month, but did bring a lot of people together afterwards, and we got to really see the bright side of humanity after the tragic event in Vegas. The tragedy in Vegas was a huge issue that brought up a lot of questions of gun control and what should be the policy in the United States.
For anyone who doesn't know, we have an article on the tragedy in Vegas on the RHSstampede.org, where you can find more information about it, especially students' perspectives on what happened, because it is a very convoluted issue, and it was a tragic event that shocked many, especially because it happened during such a happy kind of event. It was a concert. It was in Las Vegas, and it's completely uncalled for, and it was the largest attack that's ever occurred in U.S. history. So it is something we're still trying to figure out the details, and there's not always one way to approach an answer to this kind of situation, but talking about it and doing something, because at this point, thoughts and prayers are not exactly enough. There needs to be real policy decisions made, and we're still finding out information, but it is important that we don't forget about the people that died, about the situation itself, that we continue to push for something, for action, for something to change so that things like this don't happen again.
Yeah, it's really important that we all, again, have conversations like this, like we mentioned in the last podcast, because our voices do matter, and that's what's going to get, change to occur.
What I was wondering, because I remember reading about the tragedy in Vegas on CNN. How can we stop this if the shooter here, he was planning on doing it, and he had he attempted to do so at the, I believe, Life is Beautiful concert, where I know it was a festival a few months before, with Chance the Rapper and others like that, and he attempted to do the same thing and get the penthouse suite and set up snipers, but I wonder if limiting gun control laws would still aid in stopping him.
Yeah, I just wonder how it slips under the radar that somebody can have so many guns registered to them like that, you know? It's something to think about. As we continue on with our discussion of the month, again, something that we were all affected with in this area were the California wildfires that were devastating, ruined whole neighborhoods, businesses, took a lot of things, if not everything, from a lot of families. And so what's important to discuss now is how we can help those who are still affected by these wildfires.
And we've had a lot of natural disasters, unfortunately, within the last couple of months. And when we were talking to some students, we had discovered that, you know, you never really think it's going to happen to you until it does. And it's brought out a lot of amazing stories. I mean, we are the community affected by this. And so we all have each other, and we all can support each other and work through this together. But it's going to take a lot of community effort, especially from us, to rebuild so much of what we lost. And we've already started so much of that aid and support. The journalism class itself has succeeded in, you know, uniting together to do something good for our community by holding a car wash where we raised over
$721.
Yeah, and that's all going to the Atlas fire victims. So there's still things that you can do to help. Currently, Rodriguez is doing their canned food drive, and their supply drive is in conjunction with that. So donate supplies to your second period, and all that is going to go to the food banks in this area, where I know a lot of people who lost everything are relying on the food banks for their food. And the supplies is going to help a lot of the people who also don't have anything left. The devastation was immense, and it is a problem that is still affecting many today. So we, like many things, keep it in your mind, keep it in your heart. And,
Yeah, you don't know how proud I am of this, like, class raising that money. It's not even about the dollar amount. It's about how, like, all of us, like, the kids just came together to work for something that they knew, or for the people that they knew needed help. And it was just a really, really beautiful thing being there. Great experience that I think everyone should experience in their lives, is helping someone out. Because it's so important that we do that as people, you know, and I'm just proud of everybody at the school, you know, the school as a whole, for coming together and helping out when it's needed. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, just even to further that, it was amazing to see the community come together, because I normally, I like to stay inside. But right when I saw that there was an opportunity to help at the Napa Deli, like while the fires were happening, I definitely took my opportunity and helped out, made sandwiches for the first responders. And it was such an amazing thing to see these new faces work together to help those who are helping us.
Yeah, and we really want to thank all the first responders who helped, who saved, you know, so much.
Entire neighborhoods. Thousands of lives.
Yeah. And then also everyone who helped out, who volunteered, like Yusuf. That's awesome, man. Like, I just, it's so amazing. It's so great.
Yes.
So now, after talking about these heavy issues that we talked about this month, a lot went on, we want to transition into our monthly segment, our entertainment picks, things that we're loving. Yeah, so Amin, you want to start that off?
Okay. So usually what we do is we compile our favorites, like movies, TV shows, music. This month has been a music month for me. I've discovered and fell in love with a lot of different music albums and music artists. So one of my favorite albums of the month was definitely As You Were by Liam Gallagher. And if any of you who don't know who Liam Gallagher is, you might have heard of the band Oasis from the 90s. They sing Wonderwall. That's probably where you know them best. But Liam Gallagher was the lead singer of Oasis. And he is venturing out on a solo career, and his debut album, As You Were, came out this month. It is an amazing album if you like Oasis and if you like that rock 90s kind of vibe, then you're going to love his debut album. And you can check it out. He's on tour currently, too. So it's definitely been a favorite this month. And then one of my other favorite albums is Flicker by Niall Horan. If you know me, you know I love One Direction. And when a One Direction member comes out with a new album, I get very excited. And Flicker is definitely a good album, and I'm not even being biased here. It has some great songs on it. It's very like folk rock, but with a lot of like, they have traditional Irish on there. He's got some like dance music. It has a lot of various songs that might appeal to you. So if you want to check it out, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. My entertainment picks this month kind of centered around TV shows. I'm really into like period pieces. So like two of my favorite shows are Victoria and Poldark, which are both on Masterpiece. Two different shows, not Victoria and Poldark. But it's really great. One is about Queen Victoria I and her legacy, and it's really interesting because she was the first woman monarch to be married and have kids, and so that's interesting because we all know, Elizabeth, but she, didn't have any attachments, so it can be interesting to see like how a woman balances power with also her family life, and so I love that show. And then Poldark is also a period piece that centers around a miner and his family, and basically him going off to war, set during the time around the French Revolution. And so it's super good, super interesting, great actors, and really accurate representation of what it was like to live in that time period. And so, yeah, definitely recommend those shows. And also, I don't know if I need to recommend this because I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Stranger Things, but if you're one of those people who have not started the first season and don't know if you're gonna like it or if it's good, watch it. Just watch it, okay? I mean, that's all I have to say about that. And then watch the second season if you haven't seen it. Just do it.
Yusuf?
So, I would definitely agree that this was more of a music month for me. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to, personally, a lot of Kid Cudi. I know it's from 2009, but Man on the Moon, I definitely think it's a great album. And I especially love how Common acts as a narrator. You definitely, once you're done with the album, you feel like you've witnessed a story take place. And Cudi, as one of the first really rappers to talk about his emotions and how he feels, it definitely creates a different like sense, and you can see like the origins of what modern day rap is now, even though it was 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I would also definitely recommend, as the weather's getting colder, the music should be getting softer. I listened to some Frank Ocean. Blonde is still a timeless album. I would definitely favorite songs on there would be Nikes, and honestly just listen to any song on there. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be good. And or any of his other works. His Channel Orange, and I also like songs on his mixtape Nostalgia Ultra, where you'll find songs like We All Try and Novocaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any song he's on is a hit.
Awesome. Wow. Sounds like we have some really good picks this month. Make sure to check them out if you're interested. We also have our monthly picks for October on the website, so go ahead and check that out. And yeah, thanks for having a great discussion, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening, and we'll catch you next month.
Absolutely. And don't be... make sure you check out the RHSStampedeNews.org. If you're interested in Feminist Club, that it meets Mondays in Miss M's room. That's where you can find Yusuf. That's where you can find me.
And you can find me in Drama Club. So if you want to come and check us out. Also, the fall play, shameless plug, is the first 2 weekends of December if you're interested. But you can't take it with you. So, yeah, we just want to remind you, as the weather gets cooler,
the music gets softer.
Yep.
So I hope you guys have a great November now, and we'll see you next month.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.